Miami's stadium noise had been getting louder all night. The kind of electric buzz that only occurs on a tennis court when something unexpected is taking place. Supporters leaned forward on their chairs. Thousands of people inside the arena knew they might be watching the precise moment an emerging star compels the tennis world to pause and pay attention, and commentators lowered their voices. However, it wasn't simply the tennis being played that really stopped the audience. It was the response on the other side of the net, because Coco Gauff's countenance said it all when she turned to face Alexa across the court. And everyone in the stadium felt it at that very instant. Another thrilling evening at the Miami Open was anticipated, one of the tennis calendar's liveliest events. Miami consistently provides a distinct ambience. The stadium is surrounded by palm trees, music is playing in the concourse, and spectators from all around the world are crammed into the seats. However, there was a hint of curiosity about this specific match that had been building over the course of the week. Whispers had already begun to come from Alex Eala. The young Filipino celebrity had come to Miami full of energy, self-assurance, and, perhaps most dangerously, belief. She had quietly established herself as one of the sport's most promising young players over the previous few seasons. But the tennis world is not shaken by promises alone. Moments do. And Miami was fast turning into one of those occasions. Coco Gauff, one of tennis's biggest stars, a Grand Slam winner, and someone who understands what it's like to make a big impression at a young age, stood across the net. Compared to most players on tour, Gauff has a greater understanding of pressure. Since she was a teenager, she has fought the hardest opponents, performed on the grandest platforms, and managed the spotlight. However, something strange was going on this evening. Long before the contest reached its dramatic pinnacle, the fans could sense it. At first, the enthusiasm was just what you would anticipate from Miami. Loud, fervent, and fully involved. Fans are reacting to every point as if it could alter the outcome, waving flags and yelling encouragement. However, there was a slight change in the atmosphere because something new occurred each time Eala approached the baseline. The rallies started to last longer. The angles become more acute. Her self-assurance in her ability to make shots became unavoidable. Suddenly, the audience wasn't merely observing the game. They were researching it. Eala conveyed a message with each forehand. She didn't feel threatened. Not by the opponent, not by the stage, and most definitely not by the pressure. It also caught the attention of commentators. As the game went on, you could hear it in their tone. When a player begins to accomplish something remarkable, there is a brief pause in their voices. The awareness that something unexpected is happening in front of them. The whole mood of the evening seemed to be captured in one particular rally. Like many others, it began. Gauff's deep return was followed by a forceful forehand exchange. The players test each other's patience and endurance by pushing each other farther behind the baseline. Eala altered the beat, though. She entered the court abruptly and launched a forehand down the line that cut through the air like lightning. Not simply because of the winner, but also because of the bravery involved. The crowd went wild. Many rivals wait for errors when playing a game like golf. They take precautions in the hopes that things would turn out well for them. Eala didn't hold off. She launched an assault. And something amazing occurred as she made her way back to the baseline. Coco Gauff's response was momentarily caught on video. It wasn't annoyance. It wasn't rage. It was much more revealing. A mixture of surprise and respect. The kind of expression that conveys the message, this player is real. It appeared to be noticed simultaneously by the stadium. The typical sound faded into something different for a little moment. A general understanding that the game had moved into a new stage. Every rally felt heavier after that. Every point felt like it carried extra weight. And Eala kept getting up. Her bold attitude, rather than just the excellence of her tennis, was what made the moment so captivating. When up against seasoned pros, young players frequently struggle. The event becomes too much to handle. The expectations, the audience, and the cameras. Eala, however, seems totally at ease. She was bold in her stroke selection, had quick reflexes, and, above all, kept pushing golf into awkward circumstances. Halfway through the set, there was another lengthy rally that lasted for almost 20 shots. Forehand, cross-court, backhand, and a deep defensive slice. Then, out of nowhere, Eala skillfully rerouted the ball. The ball clipped the line, causing the audience to gasp. With amazing athleticism, Gauff followed it down and managed to keep the point alive by sliding into the corner. Eala wasn't done, though. She stepped forward again and delivered a delicate drop shot that barely cleared the net. The stadium blew apart. Supporters stood up. There were phones everywhere, capturing the scene. Once more, Coco Gauff's response was captured by the TV cameras. She stopped, glanced over the internet, and nodded slightly. That nod quickly went viral on social media. Videos of the rally were making the rounds on the internet in a matter of minutes. Tennis analysts talking about what they just seen, commentators repeating the point from every aspect, and fans sharing their emotions. Because it was a statement rather than just a fantastic rally, the event held considerably more significance for Filipino tennis fans. For a long time, Alex Eala has been regarded as one of the nation's most promising athletes. Many thought she had the capacity to compete with the greatest in the world after attentively seeing her progress through the Rafa Nadal Academy. However, belief is a different matter. It's quite another to prove it on a stage like Miami. The entire globe was now observing. The pressure increased as the game went on. Every game seemed to be a struggle for momentum. Eala's enthusiasm continued to up the pace while Gauff's experience kept her grounded. The audience became louder, the rallies accelerated, and the stress increased. Then there was yet another pivotal moment. Eala was in a crucial game late in the set. This is the type of situation where young players occasionally pause. The opponent is dangerous, and the scoreline is tight. She didn't hesitate, though. One of the more audacious serves of the evening was made by her as she moved to the line. A broad cut that removed Gauff entirely off the court. Eala punished the short return with a smashing forehand winner. The stadium's clamor reverberated throughout Miami. Once more, fans leaped to their feet. Even Coco Gauff appeared to smile for a few seconds as she realized what was going on. This wasn't your average game. This was the appearance of a rival who didn't mind the limelight. The emotional burden increased as the game approached its pivotal stages. There was drama in every point. Fans held their breath with every rally. Gauff's responses continued to convey a narrative throughout it all. A raised eyebrow, a silent shake of the head following a spectacular shot, or just remaining motionless when a ball lands precisely. On the line are all possible reactions. Champions are able to identify talent. Therefore, those responses spoke a lot. And Coco Gauff was seeing something unique this evening in Miami. The sentiment was aptly expressed in the TV comments. Rivalries are developed in situations like these, according to one analyst. Another noted that for a player at her developmental stage, Eala's confidence against one of the tour's biggest players was incredibly uncommon. However, analysis was not necessary for the crowd. They themselves sensed it. The applause got louder each time Eala hit a winner. The stadium reacted with equal enthusiasm each time Gauff responded with her signature athleticism. It felt more like the beginning of a story than a typical match. A tale that viewers would recall. And the intensity in the arena peaked as the game got closer to its closing stretch. The entire evening was summed up in one final rally. From corner to corner, the two players shoved each other. 20, 21, 22 shots. With every exchange, the crowd counted in silence. Eala then unleashed a backhand that fell precisely inside the baseline after skimming the net. The stadium erupted once more, but this time Coco Gauff's response was the one that really caught everyone's attention. She just stood there for a while, clapped, and glanced across the net. Just a quick, sincere acknowledgement. Not loud, not spectacular. Because everyone in the crowd understood exactly what that meant, they became silent. It signified that the time had come for one rising star to recognize another. And that picture kept circulating across the tennis community long after the game was over. Commentators analyzed the rally's importance, while fans replayed it. Excitement is rife on social media, because winning or losing isn't always the most significant aspect of a sporting event. At times, they are about acknowledgement, acknowledging the arrival of a new force. Additionally, Alex Eala did more than just play excellent tennis on that memorable night in Miami. She caused everyone in the stadium, even Coco Gauff, to pause and pay attention.